friends, for this video today, I'm participating in a challenge. It's called Craft 3 Ways Challenge, and it is hosted by Kat from According to Kat and Casey from Coffee with My Sunshine. In this challenge, you are to you're to create 3 different DIYs, and they have to be similar in some way, whether they are 3 of the same type of thing, or if you're using the same materials in all 3 DIYs. So what I'm going to be using the same materials in all 3 DIYs, and what I'm going to be using mainly is this fabric red and white check gingham piece of yardage of material that I found in my stash. Now, 2 of the DIYs are so easy that I almost feel like I'm cheating, but I'm not even really going to show you how I do them, because it's basically just sewing a seam on my sewing machine. But I will show you what I'm going to do, and then I will show you the finished product. And then the 3rd DIY is a little bit more crafty, a little bit more involved, and I will show you step by step how I do the 3rd DIY. So let me turn this camera around and I will show you what I plan to do with this gingham material for the first 2 DIYs, and then I will show you the finished product for each. The first thing I'm going to use that gingham material for is to make a table runner for my coffee table. Now, this is not, I'm going to use air quotes when I say coffee table. I've explained this in some of my other vlogs and videos, that these are just 2 small end tables that I had downstairs, and we decided to use them as a coffee table upstairs by just pushing them together. And when I first brought this up here, I had a piece of burlap on there as a table runner, and I decided I didn't like it, and I thought the red and white gingham would look better. So I'm basically just going to take that fabric, cut it down to size, and sew a hem and make a table runner. So I'll do that. I'll be right back, and I will show you the finished product. So here is the table runner. Now, eventually we are going to actually purchase a real coffee table. We want one that is a little bit longer, but not a whole lot wider, because we have a really small house, and so we don't want a huge coffee table that's going to take up a lot of space. So even when we get a longer or a real coffee table that's an actual coffee table, this table runner will work. I made it so that it fit exactly the width, but hangs over a little bit, maybe an inch or 2 off of each side. I really like this. I love how it looks, and it matches my home decor really well. The second thing I'm going to use that gingham fabric for is in my little coffee station here. I have a tiny kitchen. I don't have a lot of counter space, but I do like having a little section that's a coffee station. And so this little bitty countertop here by my sink has always been where we put our coffee pots, and so I made this tray a few years ago for another different DIY. I made this little tray, and I keep our creamer and sugar and stevia and stuff like that. My French press coffee pot and everything is there. Well, I like to change out the liner for the different seasons, and this buffalo check liner that's in there was actually from Christmas. It's still in there from Christmas. So I'm going to take another piece of that red and white gingham. I'm going to, fit it in here, and I might not even sew a hem around it. I'll just fit it in and cut it and lay it in there. And so when I get that done, I will show you what this looks like. Here's how my coffee station tray looks with the red and white gingham. I just cut it to length and folded it in half. It was perfect. The scrap that was left was perfect, just to fold it in half. I didn't even hem it or anything. I just placed it in the bottom of the tray, and I think it looks really, really cute. For the third use of that gingham material, I'm going to be using 3 jars. The first thing I found was this old cigar box. I had got this at a garage sale for like, I don't know, 25 cents or something years ago, and I was going to use it for another purpose, and I never ended up using it for that. So it's going to wind up being perfect for what I'm using, for what I need it for this DIY. So I'm going to use this cigar box. I'm going to use some faux hydrangeas, some burlap ribbon that I had in my stash, some jute twine that I had in my stash, a quart canning jar, 2 jelly jars, canning jars, and this Waverly Ivory chalk paint, as well as a rubber band and a scrap of that gingham fabric. So I wound up putting 2 coats of the ivory chalk paint on the box and on the jars. And so on the box, I am going to use some of this Waverly chalk paint in truffle with a dry brush, and I'm just going to randomly put strokes on to kind of like age it, I guess, and make it look more like a wooden box that's been painted and the paint's starting to come off, if that makes any sense.
After gluing and trimming the burlap bow, take some of the jute twine and wrap it around the jelly jars, the painted jelly jars, and just tie a simple bow just to make them look a little bit more rustic. And then for the quart jar, you're going to wrap the gingham fabric around and then just simply fasten it with the rubber band to hold it into place, trim off the excess fabric, and then wrap jute twine around that as well and tie a bow. I decided to use some of this brown filler that I just had left over from who knows when to put around the base of the jars, just to kind of hold them in place and to just make them look a little bit, make the box look fuller and make it look more finished. While I was messing around with that filler, trying to get the jars to sit in the box, you know, sturdily and everything, I realized that the jelly jars were just a little bit too short. It didn't look quite right. So I got some floral foam and I went ahead and just cut, I don't know, half an inch, probably not even that much. It's hard for me to judge width of things, but I just cut some floral foam just to raise the jars up a little bit. And once I got the right height, I went ahead and just hot glued them in place, and then I fashioned and put the filler around the jars. I also used the floral foam inside the jars to hold the flowers secure.
So here is the final DIY for this 3 craft challenge video. I really like how it turned out. I think it's so cute. And I have it sitting on my end table in my living room, so it will match the table runner on the coffee table. All right, friends, that's it. That is my take on the Craft 3 Ways Collaboration Challenge. I hope you enjoyed this video. I sure enjoyed thinking about and putting together these 3 crafts using that gingham material. Don't forget to check out the hosts and the playlists. Their links will be in the description box below. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. And thanks so much for watching. Bye, friends.